good day, Tumblr. I'm holding these headphones have a mic on as well, so I'm sort of holding them and hoping that it'll catch most of what I'm saying. Maybe I can put it down here. Hello. There's a little bar that determines whether it can hear my voice, and I think it can. One can hope. Apologies for the scruffy look. I just got out of the bath. I said ages and ages ago that I'd do a video answering questions. I actually meant to say question answering video, but you know, either way. Yeah, and essentially got questions all from one person, a rebel to nostalgia, who I'm constantly reading her username as rbelt on, and then I just get confused and cry. And this was ages ago, and I just failed to do it. And then she made the point that she was having a mock exam. You know, they apparently went well, so well done. Hooray, education system. And so this is a sort of, it was meant to be a good look video, and now it's just a well done that they apparently went well video. So answer these. Do you think it's more important for a journalist to purely give their own opinion on music, or do they need to stick to what readers would expect to read in regards to a certain artist in that magazine? I think when you sign up, when you get a job after publication, you generally know whose house you're in. You know what sort of artist they're going to be covering, so there's no point you signing up to the kind of place where they're going to be doing the sort of things that you don't like. There's if you're a massive fan of rap, for example, you're going to have very limited use in Smash Hits magazine. I think within that, so I think you have to be honest, but I think when you're a music journalist, you learn to critically understand what's good and what's not. It's not a matter of, oh, I don't like this. Like, I don't particularly enjoy the music of Pink Floyd, for example, which no doubt people will be screaming at me for. It's really dark, I'm afraid, by the way, but there's no real lighting. I mean, if I put the artificial lighting on, then it's even worse, if anything. Might give it a go, actually. 1 sec. But anyway, as I'm saying, so I have to wrap a towel. I've got nothing underneath. Is that any better? Not really, is it? In fact, if anything, it's worse. Can you even? Oh, I suppose not. Anyway, so yeah, I don't particularly like the music of Pink Floyd, but I can still critically look at that and go, that was something interesting. That was good. That was creative. So it's not just a matter of lodging a crayon in your fist and going, I don't like this album because it doesn't sound like what I like. You have to sort of take a more outside standpoint on it. Is it fair to say you believe that everyone at Enemy are vampires, all their news stories are stale, and although they pretend to stand by a new band at the beginning, they're certain they'll fail? I don't... their news stories, actually, I think are quite good, because the Enemy website is the one website that's sort of updated constantly as stuff comes in. They're always like on first line, so it's really the front line of news. But they really sort of dug their own grave there, actually, because when it comes to the magazine itself being a weekly magazine, the big selling point that it used to be before the internet was that was the only place where you could go to get your music news. Every week you sort of bought the magazine, and that was the first place you sort of like, oh, so people have been doing this, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that. Whereas now, if you actually bother to buy the magazine, then it's full of news stories that have been on their website anyway, and other people will have covered. You know, the advent of the internet has really killed off printed media. Although they pretend to stand by a new band at the beginning, they're certain they'll fail. I'm not sure they're certain they'll fail. I think they're just terrified of the idea that people will think they're irrelevant relevant, so they're constantly looking for the new thing. I mean, every year they do that thing. The first issue every year is the 10 bands that will be big this year. 2009 was Florence and the Machine, as far as I remember. 2010 was the Drums. 2011 was a split cover between Brother and the Vaccines. But they turn on like half of those artists that are in the magazine by the end of the year. So people like Mona, for example, were in their top 10 to be massive this year, and then within a few months they were like, Mona are wank. And I mean, fair play, because Mona are absolutely awful, but still, they shouldn't, they should pick one or the other. And I wouldn't say everyone at the Enemy of Vampires. I would say that they're all north of 30 or 40 and desperately trying to cling on to some illusion of youth. Like, their writing is very full of, drugs are great, aren't they, kids? Yeah, we're constantly on pills, we are. I mean, those pills are usually aspirin. The life of a music journalist is not going to always be like every single other episode of Skins rolled into one. So they need to stop trying to paint that impression, as it were. Would you rather lose your wallet or lose your phone for a week? Having done both multiple times, I'd say I'd rather lose my phone. My wallet is full of useful stuff, I've lost it so many times now that it's not really anymore. It's just got my debit card in it. But that's something that takes time to replace and is generally quite useful when I have money. Whereas my phone, I'm not really big on mobile phones anyway. I mean, there are some people that enjoy texting regularly, but if I didn't text them regularly, I'd speak to them on Facebook or Skype or something. People use phones as a means to be late for things. If you have a mobile phone and your friend has a mobile phone, your friend can go, well, I was having a wank, so I'm going to be an hour and a half late. Sorry about that. And you're just meant to make do and mend. Whereas if you don't have a phone and people can't contact you, then they're forced to be on time or be incredibly apologetic if they're not on time. I hate people who aren't on time. What is your favourite memory from being in the education system? Education system being a very Orwellian term you've gone for there. I didn't realise I was sort of being psychologically experimented on. You are part of the system now. Although it makes sense, because my first secondary school was designed like a prison. Like, literally, the layout was, you could see every floor from every other floor, so the teachers could always see what was going on, and each classroom was positioned like a cell block along perfectly straight lines. I don't know, my favourite memory. I mean, I quite enjoyed being in musicals. I was one of those people where the only things I was good at were English and drama. So I went and was in the musicals. I was 9 different characters in year 8 when I was in Little Shop of Horrors. One of those characters being Dr. Orange Scrivello. DDS, I think it is. Dr. Orange Scrivello, DDS. What a bastard. But great fun to play. Got to put a lot of energy into that, which was fun for a hyperactive little git that I was. I don't know. I have mainly sort of negative memories, I think, which is probably less to do with the time that I had at school. I had some very good times at school, and more about the kind of person I am. Like the time that I stood in front of my entire year in year 7 at the year 7 talent show competition, which was at the end of the winter term, and did a poem about Christmas, and then sat and sulked in my form room when I didn't win. Of course you're not going to win. The guy who won, coincidentally, was my best friend at the time, a guy named Seb, who did a perfect Michael Jackson dance routine to Smooth Criminal. It was amazing. What is your favourite standard crisp flavour? Definitely salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar is just where it's at. You can't contest that. What is your favourite unique crisp flavour? I don't buy into all this unique crisp stuff. I think it's a government conspiracy to keep us distracted. you're not going to go on strike about them cutting pensions if they've released a new squirrel flavoured packet of Walkers, are you? Finally, would you rather get a super speedy photo with a passing Matt Smith, or get a hot beverage and chat with Jack Whitehall? Definitely super speedy photo. It wouldn't even matter who it was. I just think it would be really awkward to sit down with a famous person that you didn't know and weren't friends with and just be like, so, you Jack Whitehall, you're tall and very good looking and lots of girls want to have sex with you, and you know, you're probably making quite a bit of money now from your stand-up, whereas I Jack Whitehall, I volunteer in Oxfam. So yeah, how do you like them apples? That said, Jack Whitehall probably does a lot of charity gigs, so really there's nothing I can do that Jack Whitehall couldn't do better. So I'd rather just get the super speedy passing photo and not have to spend the entire time contemplating my own inferiority. There was one anonymous question. It really is dark on that bloody video, isn't it? I apologise. Then again, you can't see my face, which I can only assume is, a good thing. Where was I this time last year? And it's the 2nd of December today, which would mean that this time last year, a week and a bit ago, I would have finished my thing at Q Magazine, because that was November 22nd to the 27th. 26th. Anywho, one of the two. And yeah, so I just done that. Midway through that, I kissed the girl who at the time I would have described as the love of my dear old life. Hello, if you're watching this. I don't identify you by name because that would just be awkward. Yeah, so I was excited about that. Didn't work out. I went to a house party at John's. John Miller. Thoughts from Beyond the Cuckoo's Nest.tumblr.com. Very funny blog. Far funnier than me. And yeah, he was having a party at his student digs, and I went up to Canterbury, and I went with a load of beers that I'd actually stolen from the Q offices because they're sponsored by Wed's White. They're sponsored by White. They're sponsored by Red Stripe, and they have just these fridges full of the bloody stuff, and it's not brilliant tasting beer, but you know what? It got us drunk. And I remember he got really angry at me because he had a girl in his room, so I went and slept on some girl's floor because everyone had left the party by this stage. And then he texted me at like 4 in the morning being like, where are you? Come out and I'll meet you. And I'm like, well, I'm quite comfortable. I'll see you in the morning. And he was like, fucking fine. It's not like you're here to visit me or anything. He apologised the next day, which is, nice of him. Yeah, and then this time last year I would have started stacking shelves at Morrison's. I really hope that this mic is strong enough to have caught everything that I've been saying, otherwise it's been an entirely pointless endeavour. Where was I this time last year? Yeah. So I've recently taken a job stacking shelves at Morrison's. So yeah, that's about it. My life has clearly gone for the better, uni and all that, and I've got an email today about a job, which is bueno. Muerto bueno. Oh, on one final note, this is completely unrelated to anything, but I've been watching this, I really like the song Blood Buzz Ohio by The National, but I've been watching the video for the first time, I think, and it just looks like a dating video for the lead singer. Like, right now, the bit that it's paused on, the lead singer is frolicking in grass. It's a bit like in South Park, where the head of BP, I can't remember his name, but the head of BP does that "We're Sorry" video, and he's naked on that rug. You guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about. It just looks like, I'll show you actually. It just looks like he's sort of going, oh hey, didn't see you there. Yeah, I'm lead singer of The National. I like poetry and talking about my feelings, which probably does, to be fair. And who can blame him? He clearly has a lot of them. 15 minutes is far too long for a video. None of you will actually watch this. You really can't see my face at all. Anyway. So yeah. Cheers.